Okay, so I am here with another video. I honestly don't know what the fuck I'm gonna talk about when it comes to these wrestling games or 2K, but I just hopped on and hit record, and I'm just gonna talk. I'm just gonna chill, whatever, and just have a conversation. So whatever comes to mind is gonna come to mind. I don't have anything pre-planned. I have nothing fucking wrote down. I was just like, you know what? I feel like recording. I'm trying to just lock in, ready to tap in with this shit. So I guess y'all just bear with me, though, for real. Just hop in the conversation below, tell me how you feel, whatever. Let's just have a conversation. So first thing I guess I'll talk about, let's see. I'm gonna just talk about the gameplay. Okay? Let's talk about the gameplay. Now, I said in the last video that I posted that the gameplay it lacks a lot of depth when it comes to professional wrestling. Like for the longest time, 2K was always like, oh, we want y'all to we want to make y'all feel like you're in the ring, like you're watching the actual television product. But for the longest time, 2K has absolutely failed to capture that. There is no more excuses for 2K. Y'all have had this license for 10 years? You've been making these games for about 9 years now, maybe 10 years, close 10. Like, what's your excuse? What are the excuses that you guys are gonna make for 2K? Like, they're not this grand old brand new company anymore. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all been in for a while now, and we're still lacking a lot of core elements. Like I mentioned in the last video, if somebody has me in a submission, I should be able to, crawl to the ropes, grab the rope. My opponent should be able to ignore the referee count until, he or she gets to 4, and then he lets go of the submission. Shit like that. Yeah, you could even add what they also do when they're, let's say my opponent throws me to, my bad. Let's say my opponent throws me to the turnbuckle. He goes over there, he's just beating my ass, just stumping the mud hole in me. The referee goes over there, he starts to count to 5. When you're all up in their grill, you can just ignore it, or you can stop, or else you will get DQ'd. Simple things like that. How come that's not in the game? Limb targeting. I talked about limb targeting. If they're not going to treat limb targeting like limb targeting should be treated, why is it even in the game? At this point, it's just there just to be there. But it serves no purpose. If I'm working on my opponent's leg, then he shouldn't be able to run freely. He should be limping around the ring. He should be walking around the ring and periodically clutching his knee, clutching his leg, limping a little bit. Makes it harder for you to run, and make it to where you could randomly just collapse and fall down or something like that, just randomly, to make the match a lot more unpredictable. If his finisher move involves him having to lift me up, and you just never know when you're gonna just collapse and you drop me, whatever, then I get the advantage because your leg is fucked up. I've been working on your leg the whole match. It'll really make you also a better player too. That'll make it like, damn, I can't let him work my leg like that. I gotta get better, because I can fuck you over in the end. Makes the match a lot more exciting. I could work the arm just as well. If you want to lift me up or whatever, let's say you got John Cena and I've been attacking your arm the whole match. You go for an AA. Can't even pick me up. Maybe you can, but you never know. They like having paybacks. If you want to keep the paybacks going, have a payback. Introduce a payback where you can only use it one time in the match. So use it wisely. Give it a unique name, like I don't want to say strengthening. That's kind of basic, but give it a unique name. You could have a patch. Just call that shit adrenaline or whatever, some shit like that. To where if you're injured, you can use that payback, and you get a momentary boost, and you can power through your leg or your arm being injured, you can lift me up, no problem. Guarantee you're not going to collapse and you hit your finisher on me. But you only get one opportunity to use it, so be smart, use it wisely. Shit like that. I think that would be a dope concept. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I'm not really a big fan of paybacks. I feel like you should at least bring back, I don't know, abilities. You should have more options to choose from. You know, get rid of Kip Up. Kip Up should not be allowed to just be equipped to anybody. I feel like if you're going to have that shit in the game, and if it is going to be for everybody, you should only be able to do it maybe like 3 times the entire match. It should be very limited, or it's only given to certain superstars. But that's just going to make things a bit more tricky, trying to choose between that entire roster who he wants to give that Kip Up to. So at the very least, make it very limited to where you can't always go for a Kip Up. Not everybody in the game can just Kip Up. Like that shit is played. But since everyone can Kip Up, you should make it very limited. Not every time you got some kind of momentum. That shit is, it's honestly unrealistic. You can get hit with a fucking finisher. You can get tuned. You can get a fucking Batista bomb through a table. And you can just Kip right the fuck up. Like, what is that? Like, what is that? That shouldn't even be a thing. What else we got? I mean, there's so much you could do with the gameplay, man. Like, it's just so much. Maybe I'll drop a separate video, because right now, like I said, I'm just going off the cuff. So in this moment, I can't think of everything about the gameplay, what I would like to see added to the gameplay. I know I've had tons of ideas, but like I said, right now in the moment, I can't really think about it, all of my ideas just yet in the moment. Maybe it'll come to me as I talk. But yeah, man, you got My Rise, you got, what else we got? Fucking My Career. To be honestly, those modes are just boring. It's very lifeless. That's just my personal opinion. Some people enjoy it, you know, to each their own. But me personally, like, I've seen videos of people playing those modes, and I just don't see the appeal, and I can honestly never touch those game modes. Like, they're gonna have to really do something to really make me like, you know what? All right, this is dope. I would actually go and play that now. Like, I haven't felt that way since like the Road to WrestleMania days. So I just don't bother touching those modes. It seems very dull, very lifeless. And then when you have the gameplay that I just told you about, like how they lack so much depth, it's just like, I'm not finna be sitting there playing against computers with this lifeless, very dull, very stiff, very restricting gameplay. Can't do it. I'll be bored to death, absolutely torturing myself trying to play those modes. Can't do it. My GM, I'm just not interested. Like, and this is my personal opinion. You might not feel, you might enjoy these things. You might not feel how I feel, but how I feel, I can't touch those modes. I can't do it. Let's not even get started on MyFaction. The vast majority of the community hates that shit. You know, we went so many, especially us that's been playing wrestling games like for years. I'm talking years before 2K took over. Like, we never had to deal with garbage bullshit like MyFaction. You know what I'm saying? Like, I forgot who else said it, but I've said it before too. Like, keep that MyFaction shit to the mobile games. That is an absolute mobile game. Keep that shit off the consoles, man. It's so many more things that 2K needs to be worried about, but they put so much time into MyFaction now, and it doesn't help the cause that you got a lot of people that are spending hard-earned money on that fucking mode, exactly like 2K wants you to do, and that's exactly why it's going to keep fueling MyFaction, and we're gonna have this mode for a very long time. It's not going anywhere. So if you're one of those people that complain about MyFaction, but you're putting money into it, hey man, don't expect things to change. If the vast majority of us wants that mode gone, then the vast majority of us needs to stop playing it, needs to stop putting money into it. Because that's what 2K wants you to do. They want you to spend money. It's another way to keep the money flowing outside of fucking releasing DLC. It's MyFaction. That's why they always promote that bullshit. They have it set up in a way to where you have damn near no other option but to spend money, unless you're gonna spend hours and hours and hours and hours into that fucking cesspool of a game mode. But hey, man, do whatever you do, whatever makes you happy, man. For real, whatever rolls your boat, dog. But me personally, I'm staying away from that shit. Can't fuck with it whatsoever. Never did, never will. We got the soundtrack. Let's talk about the soundtrack. What's going on with the soundtrack? We haven't had a good soundtrack in a very long time, man. It kind of, it's almost, you know, it's honestly kind of like the real life product too. Like, you know, like even now in reality, like a lot of the current, you know, a lot of current WWE pay-per-views, aka PLEs, whatever you want to call it, I still call it a pay-per-view. The soundtracks, not just soundtracks, the theme songs for these shows, man, like they're very poppy, very mainstream, like, you know, like I think just having some really good rock, really good metal, some good hip hop music, that's more like the way to go. All this other shit we got, these little country songs, not saying country is bad. I cannot talk right now. I'm not saying that country music is bad, but it's just not. It doesn't fit the vibe of wrestling. It doesn't fit the vibe of a pro wrestling video game. We need that rock feeling. We need some shit. We need that good hip hop. We need a fuse. We need something that can really get the vibe going, really get you pumped up, really get you just ready to get in the ring and beat somebody's ass. That's what we need. What happened to that? You know, I started listening to rock music a long time, like back when I was a kid. Like, I mean, I was kind of introduced to it as a youngin', but I really didn't start like truly like listening to it until I was watching WWE back in the day, you know, and playing the wrestling games. It introduced me into a lot of different rock bands. You know, that shit was dope. You know, if we have what we have now back, and I was a kid then, if I was a kid now, we have what we have now. Like, this shit I wouldn't pick up any kind of inspiration from these fucking songs. You know what I'm saying? So like right now it's just, we gotta do better, man. We gotta leave all this other bullshit alone. Get back to the roots. There is nothing wrong with getting back to the roots. Like, what's old is new, as they say. Man, I'm just talking. Whatever comes to mind. Like I said, we just having a conversation. And if you made it this far, I appreciate you for real. You know, I really appreciate you making you stand around. I know a lot of people don't have that, you know, a good attention span these days. You know what I'm saying? They got the attention span of a goddamn fork. That shit is crazy. The Bray Wyatt DLC. Let's talk about this Bray Wyatt DLC. I'm gonna talk about it momentarily. I know we talked about it the other day on the live, but I'm gonna talk about it again separately for a little bit. Now, me personally, I would buy that DLC, but I would only do that because, you know, I love Bray Wyatt. He was one of my absolute favorite wrestlers of the current generation. You know, I hate the fact that, you know, he got did dirty, honestly, for a while under the Vince McMahon fucking administrative. You know, he was finally getting ready to just show who he really is in the ring and character-wise. He was finally about to just get that real push. You were finally gonna get that real Bray Wyatt. And then, you know, shit happened, man. So rest in peace to him. But that would be the only reason I buy. That would be the only reason I would actually buy that shit, you know, because I actually fuck with Bray Wyatt. I love Bray Wyatt for real. But outside of that, you know what I'm saying? Hell, you got Bray Wyatt, you got the new patch, whatever. We got CM Punk, classic CM Punk. Like, that's cool. I fuck with it. But I mean, like I said then, what is that going to do for the game though? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's cool. Like, I don't care how many wrestlers you add to the game. You could have a fucking AEW versus WWE goddamn DLC pack. I wouldn't give a fuck overall, because in the grand scheme of things, you can add as many wrestlers as you want to your game. If your game still feels like shit, plays like shit, broken like shit, all of the above, like, it's gonna suck the fun out of the game, and just, it sucks the life out of the game. I don't care how many wrestlers you add to the game. I don't care how many new moves you add to the game. I don't care how many new persona cards you add to the game. It does not matter. If your game is just not properly functioning, if your game is constantly crashing, if after a couple of patches and all of my creations are gonna get wiped away and just be non-existent, and I lose all of my creations, everything I've ever done in the game is just fucking gone, non-existent, why would I give a fuck? Why would I even have the energy to play your game when I know after maybe 3 or 4 patches from now, I'm going to update my game, and when I can't even talk, when I fire it up, all of my fucking information, all of my data is just completely corrupted. Everything is wiped clean. All of my superstars are bald. Like, what makes y'all think we got all that? We got energy for that? People go download hundreds upon hundreds of fucking created superstars, logos, arenas, all that shit, just for it to get wiped away after a couple of patches. And you think we have the energy to go back and redo it all over again, just to potentially lose it again? Nah. And it's like 2K just doesn't care for real. They really don't care, because this has been happening for a while now. It's like it's still happening. For all I know, I can go fire up WWE 2K24 right now, and after this latest patch, all of my shit might be gone. For all I know, who knows, bro? It's like, you gotta really wish upon a star of this fucking game, and you have to pray when you turn this game on that all of your fucking data is still there. It's crazy, the current state that we are currently in. It really is. And it's what's even more crazy is that people complain that we complain. Oh, you're always complaining. You're always complaining. You're always complaining. Just go play it and play another game. I'm sorry, buddy. I mean, I love wrestling. I mean, I tolerate it because this is currently this is all we have left. Currently, this is all we have right now. Fight Forever was a fucking failure. Hopefully, they bounce back though at AEW Fight Forever 2 or whatever they're gonna call that shit. But it was a failure. We had a goddamn beam of light, but they bombed. But hopefully we get some great developers that picks them up, and from that point, saying they can become a true competitor. But who knows? By then, hopefully we already have the wrestling code out, Ultra Pro Wrestling, all that good shit. I'm mostly excited for the wrestling code though. That's what I'm truly excited for. That's what I'm looking forward to playing the most. So I feel like if there's going to be a company that'll give 2K a good run, it's going to be them. They have a lot of potential, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. But outside of that though, I mean, like, yeah, if you don't like it, don't buy it. Like, shut the fuck up. Please shut the fuck up. You sound like a dumbass right now. Like, if one of your favorite games was wrestling, and you've been playing those games since you've been a little kid and you've grown up, you know what I'm saying, you're fucking 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years into playing these kind of games, and all of a sudden they just go on a downward spiral and a dog shit, but you still get the itch to play wrestling games, and this is the only wrestling game you really have available. What the fuck else are you gonna play? You're going to get that itch. You're gonna get that itch to go in the ring. Me, I love playing online. I'm a competitive player. I like to compete against people competitively a lot. So when I get that itch to want to step in the ring, I'm going to step in the ring regardless. I just have to deal with it. Doesn't mean I have to fucking like it. So that's just that. So to everyone that constantly says that about people that complain about the game, please shut the fuck up and stop sounding like a dumbass. Please stop sounding like a dumbass. But yeah, so that's that though. I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I don't even know how long I've been recording. I've just been recording. Let me see. Yeah, we about 20 minutes in, almost 20 minutes in. So, but now we're 20 minutes in. But yeah, man. So this was just, having a little conversation with everybody, just talking whatever. I just randomly hit record, and whatever comes to mind just comes to mind. But yeah, if y'all fuck with that shit though, let me know what's up. Give me a like if you made it this far. I highly appreciate you. It means a lot. So hop in the comment section. We can have a talk. But on that note, it's your boy True. This is Unsanctioned TV. You know what to do next. Hit that like, hop in the comment sections, hit the bell, and I'm gonna catch you with the next one.